If there's anything on there, it's still not turning.
That made me keep pulling up.
Testing 1 2. Let's be honest, you want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices, unlimited Ks, and free additional drivers?
Yes, you do.
And do we support New Zealand motorsport because we love cars? And maybe to look a bit flash.
Yes, you do.
There you go. Omega Rental Cars, your upfront and honest car rental company.
And a very good morning. Welcome to live coverage of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Day 2 of the International Rally of Whangarei. Great to have your company. Nice fine morning. Dale Budge joined by former NZRC competitor, well, don't we call you former, Dylan Turner. Great to have you with us, mate.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Thank you. Lovely to be here. What a ripper of a morning. And, of course, today is the day that we crown a new champion. Exciting. Can't wait. Is it going to be Ben Hunt? Is it going to be Hayden Patton? We'll find out soon.
Certainly will. It's Ben Hunt with one hand on that trophy as it stands at the moment. He just needs to get to the finish today. Bank, I think, probably doesn't even need to finish more than third, I think, in the day points to secure what would be his third national title.
Yeah, I think as good as third or fourth is fine as long as he secures second overall for the rally. So a little bit confusing, obviously, for the people out there. We have day points and we have overall points. And then we have the power stage points as well. So Ben got enough power stage points yesterday, so he only needs to finish third or fourth for day points today, but second in the rally, and he's got it. He's got the championship.
So we are on special stage 12, about a third of the way through, and I think you might be able to tell us if Hayden Patton's currently in the stage. You shouldn't be too
just
far away.
having a look.
We've already had one stage this morning completed. Hayden Patton quickest through that, no surprise, but Dylan Thompson, outstanding time. 24.3 seconds slower than Patton in second. He was the next, or best of the rest. Ben Hunt's 1.4 seconds further back in third, then Zeal Jones in fourth. 4.8 adrift of Hunt. Emma Gilmore a second back in fifth, and then Hayden McKenzie, Stewie Reid, Jay Pittams, who had a really, really good day yesterday. Gavin Feast.
Yep, so Hayden's in the stage. Haven't got split times yet, obviously, because he's car number 1. Car number 2, Benny's just on the line, so just about to start as well.
So around about 5-6 Ks into this special stage at our vantage point. You can see cars coming from right to left as we see it. Got the results up there from that opening stage this morning. Outstanding pictures from Volt TV crew. A nice fine morning, a little bit of breeze around. There is the talk of some moisture a little later in the day. I don't know that it's going to impact us. I think we'll be done and dusted by the time we might see some moisture.
Might just drop a bit of the dust down, which would be good for the spectators, but I don't think it'll trouble the drivers too much. And it looks like pretty high cloud at the moment. Beautiful conditions for rallying. Of course, not really a lot of sunstrike because it's pretty cloudy. And just perfect. Good bit of breeze, so it should blow the dust away.
Talk us through the vantage point we're at, Dylan. What can you sort of see in terms of the handful of corners that we've got from our viewing position?
So it's a pretty fast approach to it, and then it's an uphill break, which is so much easier to slow your car down. So even if you make a mistake, you throw it sideways and you scrub off so much speed. It's a wide corner, but it's a narrow racing line. So if you take it too wide, you're going to be all day trying to get your power down. Sounds like we've got Hayden coming along now, actually.
Yeah, this will be the
Can't be far
New
away.
Zealand I-20 Rally 2, and we can see some dust.
Here he comes.
Hayden. Another flawless performance from
Beautiful, look at that.
Braking area.
I tell you what, off camber exit, and he just made that look so easy, didn't he? As he does, coming up to a crest there. Can't quite see the crest, but it sounds like he was flat over the crest as well. Pretty magic, wasn't it? I mean, just tidy, just such a complete drive, you know. He's the real deal.
All season, you know, he's hardly put a foot wrong. I'm not sure he has actually put a foot wrong.
I don't even think he's had a spin, Dale.
No, it's been just magic. We've sort of almost take for granted just how good he is. And
we do. And I mean, it's just clear there. He was just so clean and tidy. The corner before, you know, when he first comes into view, it's just magic.
Might have the replay coming up here.
Yeah, so we're going to go to a replay of it. Look at that, dips it in perfectly. Look at the change of direction and the balance and the control that he's got of that car. And then you can see what I mean by the off-camber exit. But he just feeds it perfectly. He's carrying so much momentum through that apex that it just drags him off down the road. If you get that wrong and you're not carrying that sort of speed, you're out there for days trying to find grip. So it's just for the young punters out there that want to be the next Hayden Paddon, that's how you do an exit of a corner. Nice and straight, but keep that flowing speed. Because it just, by the time he gets to the next corner, he's carried 10 Ks that whole distance, basically. You know, more than the next punter.
So 2-minute intervals for these Asia Pacific Championship cars. Ben Hunt would be next.
Shouldn't be too far away
I'm
now.
Guessing Ben is going to drive very much within himself today. Everything to lose, not a whole lot to gain by, you know, taking any risks or overdoing it at all, is he?
I can't actually imagine the pressure. I mean, I've never really been in a title hunt like Ben is, but he's pretty good with pressure, Ben. Here he comes into, beautiful and sideways there. Tidies it up. Coming up to our corner. It's wide entry, a little bit wider than Hayden, but still, uses all of the road there. What can I say? Nice and tidy.
Ben just doing Ben things at the moment. The Skoda New Zealand Fabia Rally 2 car. Third quickest in the opening stage today. 1.4 seconds behind Dylan Thompson, who's on a bit of a charge. Dylan, with more to play for today in terms of, you know, the risks that he might take or how hard he might push. I said, just Ben's got it all to lose. You can't see him overdriving at any point today.
I don't think he needs to. We're going to have a look at a replay. So see what I mean? He's just balances it in beautifully. A little bit later. See how he's in the wide and the loose stuff out the rear. But it actually helps the car rotate. So as long as you're carrying the right sort of speed, probably slightly missed the apex there, but I don't think it really mattered too much. Once again, carrying good exit speed, so it just drags that car off down the road. Like you were saying, yeah, look, I think Dylan's, you know, he's just driving for fun, isn't he, realistically? Like I said yesterday, it's a good car. It's not a great car, though. He's definitely driving fantastically to be up near the pointy end of the field in a class field like it is today. And that old car's awesome.
So Emma Gilmore should be the next car that we see, the Vantage New Zealand Citroen C3. Emma dropped some time early yesterday, had a spin, pretty rough start, just blowing the cobwebs out, I think, and took a little while to get going. Once she did, pretty good day's work. Found herself sitting in a podium position at the end of the day.
Yes.
She's fallen behind Dylan with that outstanding time on the opening stage of today.
Yeah, misses perfection, really. I mean, Emma's definitely a fantastic driver, and she's just really starting to get so much confidence back. Here she comes now up to our approach, beautifully over that camber bit of the road. Nice late break, turns it in very tight. Now, see, that was kind of so much more narrow on the exit, obviously, than the first two guys. So they're just carrying that extra, you know, maybe 5 Ks of extra speed, and it's just dragging them off over that apex. But that's just a confidence thing. You know, Ben's, six rounds, not a foot wrong. Hayden, obviously, has done 100 rounds, not a foot wrong. Emma had, obviously, a bit of a shaky start to the, you know, to the season when she started off at Otago with that big car. We've got a replay. See what I mean? She's just a bit more narrow. Watch the exit, narrow as well, where the other boys were right out on that.
All those little you know, microseconds at each corner add up, and
it's only a tenth, you know. And I mean, nothing wrong with the way she's driving. It's just that she's driving within herself. You know that, and I mean, it does just show how hard those front boys are pushing.
So dust, not so much of a factor today, with a little bit more breeze around to blow it away from the racing line. But sunstrike appears to be a bit of an issue. Just getting reports from the Zero car that sunstrike on this stage probably the worst that they've had at any point across the weekend, so that's something to keep in mind.
I guess, yeah, we are heading towards the west as they kind of finish up the stage. From this junction onwards is pretty much directly into the west. So a couple of those crests, you will be getting the sunstripe. You just pretty much pull your visor down and and hope for the best. It can be a bit daunting, the sunstripe, because it's hard enough when you can see, perfectly. You're going so fast, and when your visibility's taken away, it really is quite scary.
So Mike Young should be the next car we see. Toyota Yaris.
And Mike's driven, once again, a perfect rally, showing us the talent that he is. He's a great little driver. I think he should have been in an R5 in Europe probably 5 years ago. I think this guy has the talent for that. Stuck around the APRC, and good on him. He's just such a talent.
So Jack Stokes quicker than Bryn Jones on the opening stage of the day by just 0.1 of a second to front-wheel drive Fiestas.
So we've got one of Hayden's split times at 9:17, so I'll update you with how Ben's going on that one. Sorry, that was a stage time.
So Hayden through the stage.
Yeah, so at the halfway split, which was 6Ks in, Hayden was a 4:08. Hunt was 8 seconds off him, and Emma just 2 seconds back, 10 seconds down. At split 2, once again, Hunt was 13 seconds off Hayden. I haven't got Emma's split yet.
There's Mike.
Oh, nice and wide as well. Straight.
The Hunt pattern line and the Gilmore line.
Yeah, I think so. He straightened it up on the entry, which was obviously a sign that he might have just come in a little bit too hard on the brakes, and then he's got straight back on the power, obviously. But Mike's a great left-foot driver and, knows how to balance a car through the corner, but made that look easy once again.
Tell you who's on the pace this morning, Carter Strang, who was very, very impressive in the 2 runs through Poe Island, downtown Whangarei last night. 8th quickest overall on the previous stage, so challenge for essentially all comers.
And here's a replay of Mike. You can see just nice and tidy. Look at that car. It appears to be a little bit softer than the other setup of the other cars. Noticing it sort of squatting down a little bit in the rear. That would just... That's live pictures of Simon Bell, who was approaching the stage with us.
Good on you, Mooney.
Sorry, Simon. I might get the sack for that.
Hey, pay peanuts, get monkeys, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Big thanks to our partners as well. Brian Green, obviously, Property Group. Thank you for your ongoing support. MRF Tyres, the control tyre of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. Omega Rental Cars, who got us here, thanks to Dylan's driving nicely this morning. Cream Insurance as well, who covered it in case I was driving.
Yeah. And of course, Mitre 10 Mega at Whangarei, our round sponsor. They did a fantastic job last night of the Parc Fermé. I believe there was a lot of people there. I believe about
a lot of people
300 or
there.
400
Awesome.
people there.
Yep.
So fantastic. Great to support the community.
As we see Jack Hawkswood in the Force Motorsport GR Yaris.
Nice and tidy, late on the brakes. Good rotation. Yeah, uses all of the road. Hawkswood would never waste a crowd, though. I mean, there's not much of a crowd here. It's a bit early in the morning, but you see him flick the tail out at the last second there.
Just get some waves from Blair Bartels and Darren Galbraith.
Yeah, the boys love him. Jack, nice and tidy. Jack's speed, he hasn't done a lot of miles, so we've got a replay here. It's a real good cut on that first little corner there. Dips it in nicely. Look how soft it is in the front too. Great travel in that suspension, and of course keeping your wheels on the track is the most important part. That's why the AP4s have got it so much more over a production class car.
There you go.
There's BB.
Give us a wave, BB. No.
He can't hear us, of course.
Can't hear us.
Dale.
He didn't have breakfast this morning. He's drinking water too.
Yeah, look at that.
Tell you what, picture of health. So next up should be Zeal Jones. Frustrating day for Zeal yesterday. Second quickest on the opening stage and Looked like he was heading for a real battle at the front end of this field, and then it all came unstuck on stage 2. Didn't make much of a mistake. I think there might have been a bit of a slow puncture that contributed. Understeered off, just whacked the bank just ever so gently. Didn't do much damage to the car, but enough to send him off and beached. Couldn't get out.
It was a very narrow spot though, and it could have turned to custom pretty quick. So I think as much as you're disappointed, you're still probably pretty relieved that you haven't really damaged the car. Got some results through, so Ben has finished the stage as well, and 16.8 down on Hayden. So that's pretty consistent with just about a second a K that Hayden's been taking out of the field. Pretty good because Hayden would be sweeping the road as well. Here we go, here's Zeal. Nice and straight. See how straight he was on that entry. Yeah, a little bit sideways, but then nice and straight mid-apex and a very early exit, which once again gets that power down instead of dancing out in the heavy gravel that can. It just sucks the power out of a car, and especially when you haven't got a particularly grunty car. The R5s don't have the power that that a WRC car has or something like that. So in that loose stuff, you're just searching for time, and it's frustrating.
So Zeal Jones on charge this morning. He was 4th quickest through the opening stage in the Smith & Sons Skoda Fabia R5. Who knows what he will be driving and where he'll be driving next year. Awesome opportunity that he's got heading to Finland next month for a test with the Toyota Gazoo World Rally team.
How cool is that, Finland? Every driver's dream. I mean, I hopefully will get to go there one day to spectate. But to go there and drive, just fantastic. Good on him, mate. And at his young age, it's just impressive. Okay, so we've got Emma at the finish. So she's 3rd quickest, obviously, so far. 27 seconds down on Hayden, and a further... Yeah, she's a little bit down on Ben. 10 seconds down on Ben's time. So that's good. They're through the stage.
So next up will be the Indonesian pairing, Mohamed Farezi. This is in the Todd Border-known Ford Fiesta R5 Rally 2 car.
It looks like Mike Young on the splits is 3rd quickest with 14 seconds down on Hayden, and of course Ben was 13. So Mike's on a charge series, a little bit quicker than Emma. It'll be interesting to see how he finishes up.
See that breeze really starting to move the dust away from the road, which is obviously good for spectating. Good for drivers too. It's good. 2-minute gaps obviously with the Asia Pacific Championship cars. Here is Rahan's.
Todd Borden's car, looking beautiful. It's a nice fast approach. Yeah, nice and tidy.
Difficult start to the day yesterday. Gearbox issue that ruined his opening stage and took him out of contention early. But he started to put together some decent times in the afternoon. The second loop looked a lot more competitive.
Yeah, I thought so. Looking like he was driving it. I mean, it's pretty hard when you're almost out at the beginning of the rally. You're dejected, your head's down, and you do wonder why you're doing it sometimes. Spend a lot of money to come to a foreign country, and but no, he was looking like he was having some fun towards the afternoon, and yeah, definitely driving that car a lot harder. Of course, it's an awesome car. It would be one of the best cars that we've got in the country.
Had a bit of a chat to him in the service park yesterday, and definitely making some noises, showing some interest in making a permanent move to join the championship next year.
How cool would that be?
Which would be a great addition.
We love our internationals, and of course the NZRC has had a lot of pretty big names over the years come down and do our rallies. Ken Block at just a couple of years back, and in fact this rally does have a trophy that we dedicated in Ken Block's name for someone in the rally that pretty much is just like Ken. Ken was just such a genuine guy, and it's a big loss for our sport. So it's awesome that we've got something to reflect in his name. Mike Young's finished the stage, and he was 19 down on Hayden, so it's not too bad. Only 3 down on Ben. Like I say, Mike's been going pretty good. That car, AP4. Good car, but it's no R5, is it? It's no,
absolutely not.
No Skoda or Citroen.
We'll see the first of the two-wheel drive competitors through shortly. To Mackesy, wife Lauren alongside him. This is in the Ford Fiesta Rally 4 car. So entered in the FIA Asia Pacific Championship. 3 more of those cars in the 2-minute intervals, and then we move to the 1-minute gaps. So here is Tim.
That's thick and fast then. Whee, nice dip into the into that little hole. That probably warrants a replay, but yeah, cool line. I like his line. I like what he did. You know, he's opened up the corner by going that wide, and that's wider than I think any of the other competitors have been, or else is it maybe just his travel's not quite as great in that car. Got Zeal Jones slotting in between Mike Young and Emma for the splits. 16 down. Hayden.
Here's the replay there of Tim Legacy.
Yeah, looks fully loaded up on the exit of that. Sorry, I missed that entry, but he was definitely wide. Really cool line. Mike Young, in fact, has finished the stage and has finished 19 seconds behind Hayden. Actually, we've already done Youngie, haven't we? Sorry.
Next up should be the Japanese entrant, Fuyuhiko Takahashi, along with co-driver Ken Takahashi. Another of the Ford Fiesta Rally 4 front-wheel drive cars.
Great to see our Japanese entrants. Once again, a really good international field. Just brings a different flavour, and the people of Whangarei are very lucky that they do get an international rally. You know, it's I know that's one thing that the mayor quite likes, is that it's international. You get overseas drivers.
Love the Japanese culture too. Interviewed him in the service park. Doesn't speak a whole lot of English. Made a pretty good effort, I thought, of trying to answer our questions. They had the translator there. He had a crack at doing it in English first.
Probably better than our Japanese.
No question. Absolutely no question better. And then he repeated the answer in Japanese for the APRC coverage. At the end, he took the hat off and did the little bow to me. And
yeah, amazing, the respect, isn't
awesome,
it?
Yeah,
so
cool.
Such lovely competitors, and of course they've got a whole crew over here looking at our AP4s and trying to work out how they can get them into their Japanese championship, which is pretty exciting stuff. Good to see the AP4s still have a future.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be Fuyuhiko Takahashi, who we see
Here
approach now.
Up past the cattle yards. Yeah, nice and straight, nice and consistent. Definitely not the big cut of the last guy. Nice and tidy exit. Trying to get that power down. You could hear it wheel spinning a little bit.
So the father-son team. So one more of our FIA Asia Pacific entrants, Naveen Pulagilla with Santosh Thomas in the Proton Satria.
So we've got Zeal's just come to the finish, 5th overall. What is he? He's about 4 seconds down on Mike Young, and about 4 seconds up on Emma in 5th place. So 23 seconds behind Hayden, just over a second a K. You know, you're reasonably happy if you're within a second a K of Hayden. You're going pretty good. If you're just outside a second a K, there's still nothing wrong with that.
And again, I just talking to Zeal end of the day yesterday, I don't think he'll be doing anything silly today. I think he just wants to get some mileage under his belt. Nice trouble-free run, get to the end of the day. He does have to worry about Jack Hawkswood, so those two are in the battle for the junior FIA Asia Pacific Championship.
So Jack Hawkswood has actually just finished the stage and has finished second quickest to go. Jack, he's on a bit of a charge. He's ahead of Benny, only a second ahead of Ben, but 15 down on Hayden. That's a fantastic drive from Jack. He did look nice and tidy through here. I wouldn't say he looked spectacular or anything like that, but he just looked nice, fast and tidy. And sometimes that is the way to get that speed. And it's good from Jack, because sometimes Jack can be known for clearing the odd ditch, and you know, I mean, it's good to see him have a good level-headed drive there. You know, keep it nice and smooth and nice and fast.
Well, that's what we're seeing. You know, we saw at Otago earlier in the year. You know, it was a really mature drive. You know, went out early, set some really quick stage times, got a lead, and then protected it. Drove within himself. Really smart, disciplined performance on the Sunday to hold off Robbie Stokes.
So he's about 8 seconds up on Zeal. So I'm not sure of where Zeal was last night, but that could be an interesting battle.
This is Naveen.
Naveen coming in. Nice and tidy, cool little car that.
He's got quicker and quicker throughout the weekend too. You know, probably didn't quite have the speed out of the gate early yesterday, but I think, by the time we got to the second loop and he was a little more familiar with the roads, started to see some reasonable performances.
It's a big ask coming to a different country, isn't it? And, just the different road rules and things like that, it's overwhelming. And not knowing how our stages flow and the speed you can carry. I know it took me a few years to understand just how much grip was there when you did really start to lean on those tyres, those MRF tyres. You get that initial turn in, the cars feel a little bit slippery underneath you, but then when you actually trust that grip, it's there, and it's there in bags, and you just get quicker and quicker and quicker each corner until you find the limit, go past, and you spin. And that's, we'll keep in that limit and you're away. Hopefully when you spin, you don't hit anything. Have we seen our snail again? It's moved
about 10 centimetres, so it's still in shot.
We'll do the split times on the snail.
Oh dear. So we'll have a little bit of a gap now before we get into the national field. Dylan Thompson will be the first car we see, and he was on a charge in the opening stage of the day, second quickest. Moves back into a podium spot overall as a result of that. So.
Looking forward to seeing Dylan come through here. I think it'll suit his car. Not a lot of bumps, not a lot of jumps, so I'm thinking his pace will be pretty good on this stage as well. It's a pretty nice, fast-flowing stage. The stages on Sunday are always quite fast. They're quite heavy gravel compared to the north, the far north stages, but just horsepower stages, I find, and commitment stages. If you've had a good Saturday, it doesn't mean you're going to have a good Sunday. You've really got to wake up pretty strong and get up it straight away.
It's kind of cool to see that the older generation cars, Subaru Imprezas, the Mitsubishi Evos, still have a place in rallying and still are able to match it with some of these newer generation cars.
Well, we've seen that over the years, haven't we? You get a good guy in a pretty good old car, and they still do some pretty good times. There is a difference, and you're never going to catch a good guy in an AP4 or an R5, but that horsepower on certain stages can definitely help you. And see, a stage like this, there's just not a lot of bumps. So suspension travel, it's neither here nor there, to be fair. Horsepower is probably the key. So
it will be Dylan Thompson, as I say. He should be next through. We'll see a stack of the NZRC competitors now. Hayden McKenzie, Stewie Reid and the like. So a handful more of these Cat 1 cars.
We're very lucky in our country to have such a strong championship. Other countries, their rally championships aren't quite as strong, but ours is. We've got some fantastic drivers, a good middle group of drivers. You go back from Ben, if you take Hayden out of the equation, you go back from Ben to car 10, we've got a very competitive, close-knit field.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you sort of wonder about where some of the other drivers in our field at the moment, how many rally wins, yourself, we were talking about it on the way out here, how many rally wins, how many championship wins there might be if you weren't living in an era where we had just a guy that's out of the box in Hayden Paddon.
Yeah. Well, when I first started rallying, it was sort of Chris West and Richard Mason, and those boys were just a level ahead. Semi-Works team, obviously, with Chris West, but the Hayden era definitely has been, an incredible era, and not a good era to be number 2 or 3, because you're just not going to beat him. He just does so many miles, and he's Mr. Consistent. Bags of talent. Definitely Ben, I would think you'd have another 1 or 2 championships, and a few of the other guys, going down the field as well, the Josh Marsdens and the, myself and Todd, all of those boys.
Oh, you look at some of the younger guys coming through. Ian McGilmore's been obviously knocking on the door for a long time now. But,
exactly.
The likes of Zeal Jones this year, we've seen Robbie Stokes battle it out at the front of the field. Jack Hawkswood won in Otago. The next generation is coming, and maybe we're getting to a point where
Robbie's pace is awesome. He's a great driver.
Here is Dylan Thompson.
Here he comes up. You watch this cut.
Look
at that.
Subaru Impreza.
Nice. Oh, what can you say? Beautifully pointed at the apex. good speed. That's pretty good driving. His two-wheel drive, skills are showing up there. You drop a two-wheel drive peddler into a fast car, and he's just showing us straight away his class. Be nice to see him in an AP4. I've got a black one he could use.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah, in all seriousness, where do you think the talent will sit in terms of, would he be battling right at the front of the field, you think?
I think he'd be around, I think it would be a big ask to put him in front of Ben and maybe Robbie at this stage, but he'd be knocking on the door, yeah. You'd definitely be, maybe a quarter of a second a K quicker in an AP4 than that car. Like I said, I think it'd be a big ask to say that he'd be quicker than Robbie and Ben out of the box, but I think he'd drop it around just around Emma, maybe in front of Emma. We've obviously still got a few guys missing from the pointy end of the field at the moment. Last round, a few drop out, but he would be up there.
Yeah, the whisper is he hinted that this was going to be it, the swan song in Whangarei. Go away and spend some time, do the family thing, and maybe come back to rallying a little bit later on. But the whisper this weekend is that we may yet still see him at Otago in a few months' time. So
that's cool. I hope so. It'd
be great for the championship if he was.
Yeah, time to step up, in my opinion.
So Hayden McKenzie should be the next car we see, the Albany Toyota Yaris. He was another one that got better and better yesterday. I think he had some bent steering in the first loop, which limited his speed. He got better and better through the day.
I've been impressed with his speed all year, to be fair. He doesn't do a lot of miles and, had that big accident last year. Carries good speed. Just nice and tidy. Always consistent. Nice and wide. Gets the power down. Shallow exit, and that was what I was talking about before with the way the crown drops away, that it's actually an off-camber exit. And if you come in too hot, miss the apex, all you're going to do is understeer off the edge of the road and, just bring risk into play. And what I liked about Hayden was, even though he had a little bit of understeer after the exit, he had enough momentum to push himself through that off-cambered part of the corner. And that separates your novice drivers from your, professional or semi-professional drivers.
Absolutely. Big thanks to those sponsors on screen. Cream Insurance, MRF Tyres, Brian Cream Property Group, and Omega Rental Cars, supporting our live stream all season. And, of course, the event sponsor as well, Mitre 10 Mega Whangarei. I was there last night for podiums of Cat 5 and Parc Fermé.
Yeah, I
think to see the drivers, a lot of locals in talking to the drivers, and really cool to see the drivers engaging with the community too and enjoying that conversation.
More shots of Simon Bell. What's he doing now?
He's gone on hibernation. Stage right, Simon.
I think he might have had a flip. Was he on his back?
Yeah, they say, was it the early bird gets the worm? The thing I've never understood about that is the early worm gets eaten.
Yeah, look, I prefer bacon and eggs myself, so I'll sleep in and have bacon and eggs, mate. You can get up and have a worm.
I'll leave that to others as well, thanks.
I think while we're on it, I'd really just like to thank the officials and all the marshals that are out there doing a pretty much thankless job. We're doing our best to try and thank them now. We did a barbecue last night in the service park for them, but they do a fantastic job, and there's so many of them out there giving up their times. People have been there since Tuesday and Wednesday.
Coming up from the likes of Palmerston North to do it as we see Stewie Reid.
Here comes Stewie Reid, our international battler.
International champion for 2022.
Yeah, true. Just nice and tidy.
Last night.
No, look at that. Right out wide, but got that power down.
He's had an unfortunate year. He's had a couple of mechanical failures that have just cost him good results, and feel he's a much better driver than we've probably seen results-wise so far this year.
Yeah, definitely. I think, is he coming back next year? Is he going to be?
I think there's definitely some interest there as we see the replay.
It's just nice. What I like about this car is just the rotation, how quick it rotates. And, see that little bump, it just soaked it up. You need a car to rotate under you. That's when you feel confident. Understeer, it's fast, but it's just so hard to trust. And, a little bit of oversteer built in is what every driver wants. And you could just see that. Under brakes, how quick it rotated, got the rear out there. But it's not that fallout from under you feeling, which is obviously when you're going for a spin. Cool little car, of course, built by Choice Motorsport. Nigel, And the boys?
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so you're mentioning the volunteers, and what an awesome army of volunteers we do have up here at all our rounds across the championship. But nice to see you on the barbecue last night, turning some sausages.
Well, we're all volunteers too. You know, people probably don't understand that. You know, none of us are getting paid. We just do it for the love of the sport, and it's so nice to give something back to the sport because, you know, I've had 20 years where people have done this for me and you kind of don't understand until you're on the other side of the fence.
It's a pretty cool sport in that sense. You see some of the camaraderie, we've talked about it, you know, the Rally Challenge two-wheel drive battle, you know, Pat Norris cheering on Jared Parker for wins, and then Parker goes out at Palmerston at Vanuatu Daybreaker and he sticks around to cheer on Pat Norris as we see Jay Pittams. He was a standout yesterday.
Wasn't he, John? I love this car. Just Colin McRae-esque, isn't it? Comes in, nice and late. Little bit of a scampi. Just able to shape it last, isn't it? I mean, that's awesome. You know, I mean, I love the AP4s. I'm surprised Dylan didn't do a little Scandi in there as well, because uphill, it's a perfect way to scrub off the speed. You know, don't worry about wearing out your brake pads. Just chuck it sideways. Colin McRae taught us that, you know.
Jay had an outstanding day yesterday. He had no idea where he was sitting in terms of times.
Oh, that's a good day.
He was sitting on a podium all day. Was you know, really from the midway point was second and never looked like being challenged for it. And got to the end of the day and we interviewed him in Parc Fermé and had no idea that he'd finished on the podium.
Wow, that's cool.
It's co-driver JP Vandermees knew. He'd been following progress but didn't want to let on and had a little bit of a buffer there, so didn't want to give them too much information, and
sometimes good
for them.
Sometimes good not to know your times. You know, a lot of drivers over the years that I've dealt with, I think they did that with Zeal. They didn't really want to tell him his times, so it's good because you just drive pure. You know, you don't drive under pressure. Sometimes, like, pressure is good if you know how to apply it correctly, and it brings the best out of you. But when you're learning, you just don't want that pressure.
Just, at any sport, it just comes from experience, learning. You know, those that embrace the pressure and understand that everyone is going to be under pressure. You embrace it, and you can come out the other side. You can use it to your benefit. You start playing mind games with people.
Yeah. Well, imagine
Shane Warne as a cricketer, as an example. You know, like he got half of his wickets through creating pressure with his showmanship, his gamesmanship, and.
Yep, definitely. And imagine the pressure that, you know, that Ben's under today.
Hayden's been throwing it at him. You know, just the little comments. It's not even. It's not a nasty thing. It's just the little gamesmanship.
It's part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's part of the sport.
Gavin Feast, another of our Bay of Plenty Mafia. Trip up.
Cool car. Here's my favourite anti-lag, this one. Nice. Just got a great tune.
He's been locked in a really, really cool battle with the car that we'll see next, Carter Strang. Feasty was on the podium for most of the day yesterday, and Carter pipped him through the Poey Island stages. Man, he was on it.
Isn't that
Carter
great?
Strang.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed the Poey Island. Obviously we didn't do any footage of it, but I know we had a great crowd in from Whangarei. A little bit of feedback. I think we need to make the jump jumpier, is what I've been told. But a great little super stage to be able to watch. You know, the cars that close. That's awesome. BB,
Getting into the
young
waters.
stallion of a man. Look at him. How did he hear that?
Oh, dear.
Is he holding that post up, or is that post holding him up?
He'll be so just in terms of the live stream schedule, we'll be here for the second pass through, and it'll be BB on the mic with you.
Nice, look forward to it. Then I can officially retire. Go home and see my wife.
No, you're not. You come back for a third one this afternoon with me.
Oh, that's right.
We're at a different location for the third run.
Hopefully crowning a champion. Well, we will be crowning a champion.
Yeah, it'll either be 8 times for
Hayden?
For Hayden, or the third time for Ben, which is pretty cool. I think mathematically now those are the only 2 possibilities. So.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a very, very remote chance if Hayden and Ben both were unable to score points that Emma or Zeal potentially could have
wow,
ended up being champion.
Cat amongst the pigeons would that have been?
Well, there was definitely some talk about some options, as we see Carter Strang, who was quick in the first stage this morning and super quick in the super specials last night.
Nice again. rotated, good power down. Nice and tidy.
The rookie champion for 2024, the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. So his first visit to Whangarei. Never been competing on the North Island stages at all before the second half of this season.
The other thing I don't think you can tell when you're at home there is like this corner, it's a blind entry. You know, you're coming up a hill and it's basically all you can see is a crest and you can see the tape. And I mean, it's a blind entry, so you can't see the apex, so you're kind of tipping it in at a point where you're hoping you're going to touch that apex. I don't think you can really understand just how difficult that is until you've been in a rally car. You know, blind entry, you don't know what's on the exit, you're trusting your pace notes. Of course, the grip level's constantly changing. That's why we do a recce to see what the exit's like. You know, is it going to be as grippy as the entry? And you don't really know that until you put your foot on the brake, and then straight away you've got a feeling of the grip. But blind entry, straight onto that power, a lot of trust goes into your car, and you know.
Yeah, that's where you think you talked about it earlier too. The trust in the notes, though. Hayden is so committed to those notes, you know. And
yes, he's had them a few years, so you get to refine them. But, you know, I mean, and look, Hayden also probably knows the stages pretty well, which does help you. A little bit of mental recollection of the stage helps. I always found that some of the quickest drivers were the ones that could remember the stage. Ben and I can sit down and have a conversation and we'll talk 13 corners in,
I mean, you've done this rally a bunch of times, right? Like, can you remember just about every corner on most of these stages?
I wouldn't say every corner, but, you know, some of the stages that you've done a lot of times, like Waipu Cave and that, yes, pretty much. You know, could almost recite it.
Here's local Whangarei driver Ben Huben, Noel Maloney alongside him, Subaru WRX.
Yeah, nicely in around the corner, power down quick. Yeah, you'd be surprised the recollection. You know, like you'd talk to your mates, you know, like Shane or someone like that, and they would know the corner you've gone off on. They're like, oh, that was that one after the bridge, you know, and it's like, it's amazing. You've only done that stage a couple of times, but the people that seem to be able to remember the stages are the ones that do the quickest. There's a nice little 2-bedroom Lockwood.
You'd be,
sorry, the real estate agent in me comes out. I tell you, that in Auckland would probably be 800,000, mate.
Easy.
Yep. Look at that. Barn door style.
Yeah. Bit of student tenant in there.
Oh, that's better than most student flats, isn't it, in Otago?
Oh, so you put the student flat in the dog kennel out the back.
Beautiful day up here in Whangarei.
Certainly is. About to see the first of our front-wheel drive cars. Bryn Jones, Jack Stokes, these two cars coming through. Bryn with a handy lead overnight in that class, NZRC two-wheel drive class. And he's had a pretty up-and-down, challenging kind of a year. So to finish with a potential class win here would do him the world of good.
Bryn's been going good. You know, he's definitely one of those drivers that wears his heart on his sleeve, and when it's going good, it's good. When he can get quite emotional, and yeah, great young driver. I think he's got a huge future.
Does he want a water? Sorry? Does it cost me water? Stuck out there in the freaking dust?
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. I think that'd be lovely.
How about that? Bit of service. Bit of a shout out too to the Volt camera crew who are out there in the dust. Been doing it all day yesterday. So here's Bryn Jones.
Nicely over that first little crest. Coming up, late braking. Good speed. Carried some great mid-corner speed there, and his exit speed, you know, you can see that two-wheel drive just not quite got the grip of four-wheel drive. Kind of doesn't propel out of the corner, it's more just flow.
So Dylan Thompson, third quickest through the stage. 3.9 seconds behind Ben Hunt. Quicker than Zeal, and around about 6.8 seconds quicker than Emma Gilmore. So Dylan continues to just build that lead. He event result at this point over Emma Gilmore in the NZRC. Hayden McKenzie was 6th quickest. Stewie Reid 7th quickest. Not much between those two, 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, definitely awesome driving, like I say, from Dylan, and showing that the white pointer, I mean, that white pointer's beaten me a couple of times at the Far North Rally with Ben Hunt driving it. We've had some awesome battles.
There are the live results from the stage. Big live results overall, excuse me. Hayden Penn, 3 minutes 21 over Ben Hunt. Dylan Thompson in third, Emma Gilmore, 14 seconds adrift now. So next up should be Jack Stokes. So Jack, the only member of the Stokes Motorsport crew running today. Lost Robbie yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that was a bit of a shame. You know, Robbie's just always such a spectacular driver, and disappointing end for the season for him. And look, I hope that team regroups, because he is just such a talent.
We saw the first half of the campaign, he was nearly flawless. The team, everything ran perfectly, his driving was outstanding, and then second half of the season has been a bit of a challenge for him.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get back to that in a moment, because I saw him in Special Stage 2 yesterday. Come back to that as we see Jack, who's been a real find in the championship. He's got some point too.
Gee, that was good speed through there too. I mean, it's a toss of the coin to say who did the corner faster. Like line for line, they were absolutely exactly the same line. Great drivers, the pair of them. Great to see these younger drivers, you know, in two-wheel drive. They are just the stars of the future. They're going to be competing with probably Zeal if we keep them in the country.
Yeah, if we keep them in the country, that's exactly right. Yeah, saw Robbie at the end of Special Stage 2 yesterday. Had a quick chat to him. He did not look well. They'd been battling a virus all week. Both he and Ellie Mackay as co-driver gone through the team, and just sort of wonder whether that, you know, if you're not feeling your best, whether that can play a factor in, you know, obviously only takes a very small mistake to become a very big accident. Most
definitely. I mean, it would have started from Ricky for those guys. If you're not feeling well on Ricky, you just don't get the good notes down. And Ricky, for those of you that don't understand what that is, that's when we look at the stages. So we do a 2-pass over the stages, and we just refine our notes or rewrite total new notes. If you're not feeling good and you don't have good notes, your rally just gets off to the wrong start. And then, of course, rallying's a confidence thing, and it is definitely the better you feel. It's just so much better. You got a small cold or something like that, it really does affect it. You wouldn't think it would. You're just sitting on your bum. You know, it's not like you're playing rugby, but it's all those micro decisions that you're making. Your brain's making adjustments for the car every millisecond.
It certainly does. So next car we should see through is another one that really impressed yesterday, Joshua Keeley. Also Ben Trevelyan. They're in one of the H6 Subaru Imprezas.
Great sounding car. Nicely over the first little crest. Tucks it in. Nice and neat. Little bump didn't unsettle him. A little bit wide on the exit there. They're still carrying good speed. There's that camber, you know, dragged him out. It's a shame we can't see the next crest, actually, because straight down this road, you've probably got a 400 metre straight, and then you've got a blind crest into maybe a 30 or 40, and then it's a sharp right. But it's just amazing how confident the drivers are that they can carry that speed over that crest. We can only just see it in the foreground there.
So Josh, obviously coming from quite the rallying family, Granddad Murray Chandler.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow, excellent. Murray, of course, in his day. Great peddler.
Dad was a peddler, sister's a peddler. So Pierre-Henri Brunet would be the next car that should come into shot shortly. Vanuatu visitor.
With Mal, of course,
alongside him, yeah.
Co-driver I've tried to kill over the years. My first big crash was with Mal, end for end. Don't get me started on crashes.
Oh, we might be here for a while.
we have some big breaks. I could talk about a few of them. That was my second rollover.
You're not rallying if you're not having crashes, are you?
Well, and that's it.
I mean, Colin McRae.
Yeah, I think he would have had more than me. Yeah. I think just
he's still revered to this day as
yeah, exactly.
One of the greatest we've ever seen. So, change the sport. Okay, so I'm hearing Bruno may have stopped. little bit of a gap here. James McDonald would be the next car, another of the RD6 Imprezas, and speaking of crashes, he had a monster crash at Bay of Plenty. A lot of damage to that car, and what an awesome job by him and his crew, and a whole lot of volunteers that helped him get that car looking spick and span again for his first proper venture to Whangarei. I think he completed maybe a stage here in the past.
Yeah.
And he's another that finds himself very much in the battle in terms of the Group A Challenge. Dougie took that out, Andrew Graves, but James finishing on the podium yesterday. Continue as part of the all-comers field today. Neat to see a lot of those Southerners making the trip up too.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's obviously a long way, and you know, there is a lot of extra expense involved. But yeah, it's great to see them come up to the North Island, and hopefully they're rewarded with some amazing roads, which they are.
Yeah, well, that was always the risk, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
sort of structure the championship the way we did, there's lots of benefits for having the South Island rounds all together and then the North Island rounds all together. The risk, of course, is that those that perhaps aren't in contention in the south don't make the trip north. It hasn't been the case. It's been really
Wow.
awesome to see.
We're losing we're losing crews with Konaishi. Is that how you say it? Kanishi is stopped as well. So we're waiting for them all to come through, and I think nobody's coming. I don't really want to talk about my crashes.
So I don't have Kanishi until much further down the start list, so I don't know whether he stopped perhaps on the previous stage.
Oh, okay.
We're getting a little bit of mixed reports.
Got a car coming
Here
now.
a car now. That looks like James
H6.
McDonald, I think. It is indeed.
Cool looking car. Just feathering the throttle on the apex there. Yeah, good. Nice line, what can you say? I mean, fast, committed. Like I say, blind entry into that. It's probably about a 4 right, maybe 4 right minus. So reasonably tight, a little bit more than a 90. And of course, off camber exit just introduced a little bit more risk element. The best part is it's uphill braking, you know, so even if you're too hot into the corner, it's so easy to scrub the speed off.
So I can give you an update on those two situations. So Pierre-Henri Brunet crashed at the end of the previous stage, 100 metres from the end. And so too did Masatoshi Kanishi on the Toyota GR Yaris. Good news is both crews all okay.
200 metres from the end, that's gutting.
That is
I mean, it doesn't stop until you go past that little red flag, but it just goes to show what a shame. Man, I've had some crashes right by the end.
We heard it yesterday. I think it was Tim Mackesy telling us that he was distracted by the Zeal Jones incident, saw Zeal off to the side, and in just losing that concentration for a moment, he runs wide and whacks the bank. Yep.
Millisecond, you know, I mean, we saw that from a guy called Mark Tapper, you know, one little put off, and at great speed, you hit the loose, you know, and you're gone. It's only a split second. Shane last year in my car, you know, going across the slippery wooden bridge in Waipu Caves and checking his temperature, and like worst place in the world to check your temperature gauge. That's kind of what happens. Only takes a split second.
So Anthony Jones should be next up, the first of our historic cars, Ford Escort.
Jonesy and the cool-sounding Escort. What a great peddler he is. Absolutely strong driver, pushes that car to its total limits and sometimes slightly past it.
Love the family aspect to it as well. Seen son Bryn already.
Yeah.
In the NZRC two-wheel drive championship.
And it's great.
Zoe's the other daughter sitting next to him in his Escort.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it is a family affair. It's great to get your family involved in motorsport.
Mrs. Jones will be here somewhere supporting, making the lunches.
Making scones.
Great supporter. That team does an awesome job supporting their crew around the country.
And yeah, of course, Jonesy he's such a good peddler. He's always spectacular to watch. Gets that little Escort dancing.
Bit of a gap here though.
I think I can hear him.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
There he comes.
Just the roar of it.
Need a shot of BB watching this.
That's awesome. Look at it. Full rotation. Oh, nice. On the bump stops almost in the rear. I mean, that's pretty hard up it, isn't it? I mean, nothing quite like an escort. You know, in the right hands, it's just, you know, you go to Otago, and I remember watching Ari Vartnen and guys like that in their escorts, and just such an impressive car.
Yeah, certainly amazing. Good to have Jonesy back in the championship. Missed him for the first few rounds this year. He's been back for the last couple, and hopefully we'll see him out for...
We're going to have a replay of the escort. Got to do it. Turns in, look at it, yeah. And look at the rotation. He gets it round so quick. Just that change of direction. Full wheel spin. I wonder how his tyres have been lasting. I think the MRFs are getting a good shred up there, that's for sure. Tyre wear's not been as bad as what the drivers have thought. I know it's been a big change for the season, but look, it's a great change for us. Everyone's in the same boat. I know there's been some pros and cons, but you know, for me, it's all a pro. You just got to work it out. For
the spectator, there is no question that this is absolutely beneficial for the sport, because everyone's got the same playing field.
Exactly. So the cream rises, you know, and I mean, it's the person that probably has done the most time testing on them. I mean, obviously Hayden's got talent. He could probably put a plastic flipping Duplay wheel on or something off a wheelbarrow and still be pretty damn quick. But, you know, for the rest of them...
I'll tell you, I was at a couple of interstages yesterday and looking at the tyre wear, and it didn't matter what brand was on the outside of the tyre, they were all shredded. Yeah,
well, look, I mean, it's concrete roads at the moment. Once you get that gravel off...
So here is another of our international visitors, Eugene Crunet, Philippe Delroux.
Eugene, great to see them back in the country. Geez, coming up quick too, nice quick approach. The confidence is definitely coming back. I mean, he sat out a few rounds. I think Otago was his last round.
Yeah, I think he was at Bay of Plenty, but prior to that, he had that big break. With all the unrest obviously going on.
Yeah, New Caledonia,
which is really sad. But
yeah, John Louis, one of our friends, he's probably watching. You know, it's been a bit not cool for them. Hopefully they're all back rallying soon. Come on down to New Zealand though. We've got great roads here. We've got plenty of cars.
Always does it with a smile on his face, Eugene. Doesn't have a lot of English, so a little bit hard for us to have a whole lot of dialogue with him, but always enjoys his time here. And Philippe, who actually owns the car.
The co-driver.
Co-driver owns the car.
I've always looked for a rich co-driver, but I never seemed to find one.
It was Golden Life, remember? My 7th form yearbook. Yeah. Golden Life was to marry a rich physio who could cook. Didn't quite work out that way.
Car, obviously, you know, Choice Performance runs that car, and what a great car it is. They're so... You go into the service park yesterday, and they're so professional.
So just looking at some times, that battle in the Rally Challenge four-wheel drive cars. Carter Strang quickest through there, 6.8 seconds quicker than Gavin Feast. Jay Pittam has actually dropped a little bit of time to those guys.
He looked pretty good through here, so that's unusual.
Bryn Jones quicker than Stokes through that stage as well by doing some quick math here, 4.2 or a little bit over 10 seconds.
Yeah.
The next car we should see will be Anthony Torito in the Honda Civic. One of the all-comers. Handy peddler, this guy.
Yeah, it's and it's cool to see, like a you know, Honda Civic mum's car, pretty much, isn't it? It's got some groceries in the back, I'm sure of it.
He's got one that's in track racing spec as well.
No, it's a cool car. It's a really cool car. Definitely not mum's car. If your mum drives that car, you're flipping stoked.
Mum's pretty cool. Your mum watching today?
I think she will be. It's 8:30. I'm hoping she's out of bed by now. I haven't had the hi mum, but
saw the message hi mum yesterday.
Yesterday, yep. Thanks to Anita for answering that.
Not sure if my lot are watching, but hello if you are.
Of course, there's a big team behind us. People don't realise. You know, the live stream started off with pretty much us standing around with a cell phone going on Facebook Live. Now it's just a whole new level. We've got people back in base giving us notes. We've obviously got our van, who we've got coming up here, Dale.
Next one up was Julian Longley, I believe. Yep, that's Julian.
Yep, and the Impreza. Nice and tidy.
Experienced Fleur Pedersen alongside.
Fleur's been around for a few years, of course, co-driver for our favourite personality, Brian Green. He can't be too far away now.
No, only a couple more cars until we see Greenie.
Yeah.
Julian had some issues yesterday. They had the bonnet up at the end of Special Stage 2. Thought they might have lost boost, but...
To be fair, it's a Subaru. Oh, Blair Reid will be watching. I'm sorry, and Simon.
Yeah, if you weren't fired before, you certainly are
Yeah,
now.
definitely.
So the Toyota 86 of Brent Taylor, Chris Ramsey should be the next car that comes into view.
Chris Ramsey, of course, Lucas Ramsey's dad. Needs no introduction in the rally circles, that's for sure. And Brent, he's just just a great driver. Pushes so hard. Great to see him on day 2, because you don't often see him on day 2. People say that about me, though, don't they?
No, I was going to say a lot of the more recent incidents you've had have been on day 2 of rallies.
Yeah.
Otago, Whangarei a couple of times.
Yeah, true. That's pushing.
Well, it's because you're in the battle.
Like Liam Lawson says, you're not here to make friends.
Exactly. Exactly. Tell you what, it's the golden era for New Zealand motorsport at the moment, isn't it? People
is.
My dad talk about the 60s, and McLaren and Holm and Amon and the like. You think of what we've got in this current era. Dixon to Hartley, Lawson, Van Gisbergen and McLaughlin.
It's just
Hayden.
awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hayden. Yeah, we need a few more in rallying would be my ultimate. Need to get Hayden back into WRC or...
Still doesn't sit well that he's not there. You feel like he's one of the best half dozen drivers on the planet.
Definitely is.
So this is McRae Sloper. So
BMW.
I don't know what's happening with Brent
Brent,
Taylor.
I might have put the mockers on him. Great turn. See, that car's got a lot of front grip, rear-wheel drive, you need to have good front grip, but he got that thing turned in so quick and easy.
I don't see a lot of BMWs being rallied, but...
No. Well, Kane Barry's the BMW king now, He's... they're good cars. Ari Pettigrew and his BMW, man, he could get that thing flying, couldn't he?
Absolutely.
Another great driver from the South Island.
Yeah, shame we don't see him around at the moment. It'd be great to see him back in the championship at some point in the future.
There's definitely a few people missing, isn't there, from that pointy end of the field. Of course, Rana, just Todd as well. I know Todd's car's here this year. Phil Campbell, another one that we miss in the championship.
Hearing whispers that we might see Josh Marston next year.
That's so cool. Josh,
great.
another talent.
Here is Brian Green.
Brian Green, of course, our principal sponsor of the New Zealand Rally Championship.
Tell you what, there is some experience in these next 2 cars. Brian Green and then Dave Strong.
And Greeny's one goal in life is just to beat Strongy. He came up, I saw him at service, and he's like, I'm 25 seconds up on Strongy, so it's a good day, Dylan, it's a good day, as he's eating his ham and egg sandwich.
I want to say he took out the gold class.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he doesn't. It's just fantastic that he's still rallying, and he's so good for our sport. Look, honestly, the NZRC would struggle without his sponsorship.
It was Paul Fraser, excuse me, of course. Paul Fraser.
Yeah, Paul Fraser.
Perfect campaign. So Paul Fraser is
the gold card champion
for 2024.
I'd love to give it to Greenie. If it was up to me, but... And like I say, I'm just stoked to see him at day 2. Greeny's had a bit of bad luck this season as well. Mm-hmm. And hopefully he gets to the end.
So here's Dave Strong.
I'm stuck on the camera. There we go. Here comes Strongy in that V6, isn't it?
Very experienced. Rob Scott sitting alongside as well. So talk about the experience in those cars.
Nice and tidy. Did I see Rob Scott wave? Maybe not.
Might have just lost his page in the notes.
Rob Scott, of course, the president of the Grey Roots, and most hated people in real estate and rallying, I think.
Very, very clever writer.
He is possibly a little bit controversial at times.
It's always a good thing, isn't it? A little bit of controversy gets people
I
talking.
I think so.
So next up, we'll see Jeff Talkington, Natasha Sabritsky in the Toyota MR2. Only one of the MR2s going today.
Yeah, Rodney's out, and they were having a great battle yesterday. I mean, that was absolutely cool. You know, we've seen them around the field for a long time, and look at this. I mean, that's great speed that he's carrying up the hill here. Nice and wide. Gets on the gas early. He's really got the grips of that car. I know he's driven it for a long time, but yeah, makes it look fun. Cool rallying.
Used to be the car that you had in the midlife crisis, wasn't it?
An MR2? I think,
MR2?
wasn't that an MX-5?
Oh, I don't know. This is before my time. It was when I was a young fella. I just remember a lot of dad's mates ended up with MR2s.
They were so expensive when they came out. I remember as a teenager, they're that old. They were the 90s, weren't they? I mean, they were a cool car. Seriously cool car.
So we should see a couple of our national champions for 2024 through in a moment. Willie Hawes, Jason Dwyer, the Open two-wheel drive champions, and elect, I should say. So Willie's just got to get to the end of today, banks those championship points, and he'll have a title to show for his efforts in 2024. Here is Willie.
Nice and tidy.
Better and better all season. Here's yours. And been involved in that battle with Dave Strong, and I think it was fair to say that Dave had the pace on him. Willie was a little more consistent. Dave had that DNF at Otago, which really sort of put him behind the eight ball in terms of the championship battle. But not only has Willie been consistent, but he's been getting faster and faster. It's become a genuine pace battle between those two now. So
yeah, which is cool. And I mean, like, you know, Strong, he's pretty consistent. He's been around a long time, and you know you have to go fast to beat Dave Strong.
So we go from one champion-elect to a man who was crowned champion last night, Jared Parker. Cole Shears defending their Rally Challenge two-wheel drive title that they won a year ago. And talking of guys that have really come on in leaps and bounds this year, Jared Parker has made some massive progress, I think.
Yeah, just amazing. He's definitely cemented himself as a co-driver of the future.
He's going to be someone to watch. I think there's some plans underway to maybe see him jump up and compete in a different car in the future. I'm not sure it'll be entirely in 2025 or start of 2025, but I think Jared's a driver we need to keep an eye on over the next few years.
Driver, sorry, not co-driver. Getting my co's wrong.
So I think there might be a little bit of a gap here with Masatoshi Konishi. Should have been in this spot. He obviously went off the road at the end of the previous special stage alongside Kazuta Suzuki. And the Toyota GR Yaris, both driver and co-driver all okay, which is obviously good to hear. So down to the last 5 cars or so. Now we'll head off. We'll be back here with the second pass through the stage. A little bit later today. The exact times in a moment.
Wind just starting to get up a little bit, but still nice and clear. No, doesn't look like any rain's coming in. So I think we're going to have a nice clear afternoon. So the cars are all safely through and they're on their way to service.
Yep, so back for service. Special stage 13 will be the second pass through this stage, Waiotira. And it starts at 9:29. So a little over half an hour away. So we'll be off here for about half an hour or so. And then back for the second pass. And then we will be back for a third crack later in the early part of the afternoon. So Mark Cuban, Richard Yellop should be the next car we see, Toyota Corolla. There he is.
Oh, nice and tidy through that bit. Not using all of the road, which is good, because obviously you don't have to travel. And just nice and tidy. Cool sounding car.
Cousin of Ben Cuban, I believe. Maybe second cousins.
So I've had a text from Mal Peden, and they're all okay, but it was sounds like it was a bit of a decent crash. He said Turner type airtime.
That's some hang time then.
I'm thinking, wow, that's cool that I'm known for that.
So Adrian Sutton, Stephen Dill in the Nissan Pulsar will be the next car.
I think we are looking for some sponsors for next season as well for our replays. If anyone, he's the mass sport, is it?
It's Paul Fraser.
Paul Fraser. Excellent. Listen to this BDA.
So another champion-elect, historic class.
Nice. Turns it in. Gets on the gas. What a cool sound.
Paul Fraser with Mark Parsons, experienced driver, in the silly seat for this one.
Yeah, Mark Parsons, legend, Targa status back in the day, and great gravel driver as well. Been around a long time.
There'd be some experience in that,
vehicle. Paul Fraser as well. Here's the replay. So like I say, we're looking for a sponsor for the replays. Massport.
Yeah. Also, sponsor for a drone. That'd be a nice addition to the live stream coverage.
We obviously want to have a drone as well, so that we can carry the footage a little bit further down the road. So hopefully you've seen some big improves obviously this year in the live stream. With a couple of extra sponsors on board, it's definitely helped us out.
Here's Adrian Sutton, so I'm not sure if he's just out of order, because I had him ahead of Paul Fraser, and this gap doesn't seem to be full minutes, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Maybe
he's had to pull over for something. Doesn't look to be going that fast. I wonder if he's got a small problem in the car. Yeah, he's definitely down on power.
So George and Hamish Feast, penultimate competitors in this first pass through the Waiotira stage.
The young brothers.
Yep, saw Dad Gavin earlier on.
Looked to have a little bit of damage on the car last night. I didn't get a chance to catch up with them and see what happened, but
they were temporary withdrawal at one point yesterday. So
yeah, I think
I'm not sure what the story was. Didn't actually
there's
catch
a couple
up
of
on
scrapes down the side, and it definitely looks like it wasn't caused from backing it off the trailer.
No. Here they are.
Here they are.
There's been more on pace right now, though.
Yeah. I thought we missed them actually coming into the corner, but nice little understeer there going on. So pushing hard. Look at that dust is. It's just getting a bit thicker. As the gravel sweeps off, you get more of the base, and the base is what creates the dust, not so much the gravel on top. Second pass, of course, will be totally different. They'll have so much more traction. You'll see probably almost a half a second to 3/4 of a second K quicker for Hayden, and of course the rest of the field as well, because the gravel just continually keeps sweeping off.
So one last car, I think, Dylan. Mike and Helen Cameron in the Mitsubishi Lancer. They had some difficulties yesterday. It's been such a consistent pair all season.
I think they might have gone about 14 times around the circuit at the Super Special stage last night. I heard a rumour.
I had to get their money's worth. Well, I'm not sure. We thought he might have shortened the first pass, so maybe he decided to make up for it in the second.
Is that what happened?
There's a little bit of confusion around that. So,
look, great competitors, and we spoke about them yesterday. It's just great to see people that don't necessarily want to win, just out there having fun. Anyone can do rallying, and I tell you what, it's so much fun. You don't have to be in the podium to have fun.
Pulled over. They were on the side of the road in a touring stage yesterday, trying desperately to get the car fixed. Pulled over to have a chat to them, and both of them smiling away, offering the lollies as she does.
As she does.
Meanwhile, they're trying to fix the car.
I tell you what, that's pretty good exit speed too. He's not mucking around really, is he? I mean, that's still probably the 80 to 90 k's on a gravel road, in the exit. Yeah.
So we'll wrap up the live stream coverage for this first stage. Big thanks to our sponsors. You can see on screen there again, Cream Insurance, MRF Tyres, Brian Green Property Group, Omega Rental Cars, and of course the event sponsor, Monitor 10 Mega Whangarei. Thanks for your time. We'll be back in around about half an hour with the second pass.
Let's be honest. You want to rent a car from someone who'll see you right. So here's a few reasons to put Omega Rental Cars top of your list. Do we have a modern fleet, all fully checked and ready to roll?
Yes, we do.
Do we offer keen prices, unlimited Ks, and free additional drivers?
Yes, you do.
And do we support New Zealand motorsport because we love cars? And maybe to look a bit flash.
Yes, you do.
There you go. Omega Rental Cars, your upfront and honest car rental company.